On a Children's Day outing, just as I entered the national park, my car was rear-ended by a supercar that had crossed the solid line. The woman who got out of the car was fuming. "Do you even know how to drive? Do you have any idea how expensive this car is? You couldn't afford it, even if you sold your bones." I was about to retort that she was the one who had broken the rules when I realized wasn't the woman's car the exact supercar my mom, Eleanor, had given me the first year I took over the group. Even the license plate number was identical. I clearly remembered my husband, Ronan Lawson, saying the car's engine was shot, and he'd sent it to the dealership. I met the woman's arrogant gaze and demanded, "Is this car really yours?" The woman froze for a second, then her expression turned smug. "My husband gave it to me. It's a limited edition. Someone like you from the dregs of society wouldn't understand. Hurry up and call your family to sell your house. You owe me $1 million then," she threatened. "Don't try any funny business. My husband is the general manager of Houchen Group. He's got powerful connections and he's on his way to meet us," I sneered. So this was why Ronan Lawson had bailed on our daughter, claiming he had a business dinner to spend Children's Day with his mistress and her son. Chapter 1. It was Children's Day, and I had just arrived at the national park with my daughter, Melody, when my car was rear-ended by a supercar that crossed the line. The woman who got out of the car was aggressive. "Do you even know how to drive? Do you have any idea how expensive this car is? You couldn't afford it even if you sold your bones," frowning. I pointed to the solid line on the road. "Ma'am, you crossed the solid line, causing the rear-end collision. It's clearly your fault entirely." She cut me off impatiently. "It's your fault. When you see a multi-million-dollar luxury car like mine, you should know to get out of the way serves you right to pay up." I was so angry I almost laughed. I'd run into a real piece of work today. I picked up my phone to call the traffic police, but Vivian Chase shot me a contemptuous look, reached out, and grabbed my phone, stopping me from making the call. "Calling the police won't help you. My husband has powerful connections. I want $1 million right now. Hurry up and contact your family to sell your house, or if you piss me off, I'll make sure you lose everything." She was utterly unreasonable. It was clearly her fault, yet here she was, shouting and making demands. A crowd of onlookers had gathered. They gasped in unison. "I've seen this car on TV. It's one of only 50 in the world, worth $50 million. We've run into a super rich person today, then this woman in her electric car worth tens of thousands. Isn't she screwed? She'll have to pay till she's bankrupt." Someone sighed. "She's just unlucky." Someone who can afford a $50 million car must have immeasurable power behind them. Even if it's their fault, they can twist black into white. Vivian Chase, emboldened by the crowd's fawning, grew even more outrageous. "Did you hear that? Be smart. Right now it's just $1 million. Otherwise..." I suddenly cut off her threat. "Is this car yours? This supercar in front of me?" It looked familiar from the moment I saw it. A flash of realization hit me. Wasn't this the gift my mom, Eleanor Redmond, gave me the year I took over as chairman of Houchen Group? The last 4 digits of the license plate were even my birthday. I clearly remembered my husband, Ronan Lawson, saying the car's engine had died and he'd taken it to the dealership. It was only because we have so many luxury cars, many of which I don't drive often, that I didn't recognize it immediately. I took the electric car out today purely to keep a low profile. Vivian Chase's expression turned cold. "What do you mean?" "My dear husband gave this to me. It's mine," as if remembering something. Her face broke into an extremely smug and ostentatious grin. "My husband is incredibly powerful. He owns Houchen Group, the largest in Bay City. He's not someone a nobody like you can afford to provoke." My eyes narrowed sharply. I repeated, "Houchen Group?" Vivian Chase nodded, her chin held high arrogantly. "Scared now, huh? Hurry up and call your family to get the money, or I'll have you thrown in jail." I was initially wondering if I'd misunderstood, if someone from the dealership had secretly taken the car out, but now it was clear. Ronan Lawson, that live-in son-in-law, had cheated seeing I didn't speak immediately. Vivian Chase assumed I was scared, shot me a disdainful look, and continued her threats. Let me tell you, my husband will be here any minute. If you ruin our family outing, he'll have you blacklisted from every industry, no matter what you do. I snorted coldly in anger. You've got some nerve. An older woman from the crowd stepped forward to advise me, young lady, we ordinary folks can't afford to offend these wealthy families. Just accept your bad luck, be a bit submissive to her, and try to negotiate a smaller compensation. A cold smile touched my lips. Today, someone will indeed have to pay, and they'll lose everything, but it won't be me. What a joke. Stealing my $50 million supercar. What kind of crime and punishment would that entail? Hearing my words, the woman shook her head at me. If you don't listen to advice, you'll suffer. Everyone in Bay City knows what Haoshan Group represents. Someone else jeered, so naive. Still thinks the world is fair. Even if the powerful make a mistake, it's the common folk who end up paying. Vivian Chase, seeing my firm stance, flared up, her face contorted with rage. You scum, you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Just you wait until my husband gets here. You'll be sorry I lowered my eyelids slightly, masking the unstoppable killing intent in my eyes. He's coming, is he? Perfect. I also wanted to ask Ronan Lawson why he couldn't just enjoy his good life. Was he so eager to court death? Chapter 2. Just as Vivian Chase and I were arguing, a commotion suddenly erupted from my car. An 8 or 9-year-old boy, Tony Chase, darted out and ran to Vivian Chase holding up a pendant. Immediately after, my daughter, Melody, got out of the car. Her hair was disheveled, her eyes red and swollen, as she complained tearfully, "Mommy." As soon as he got into our car, he started rummaging through everything and snatched our family photo pendant before I could speak. A sharp, piercing female voice shrieked, Well, well, you pair of bitches, I was wondering why it was such a coincidence you'd be at this spot today, hitting my car and acting so bold. So, you were planning to seduce my husband all along." Vivian Chase clutched the pendant tightly in one hand, while her other hand clawed out, ready to scratch. I'd never seen anyone so shameless. I grabbed her hand, my eyes frighteningly cold. You know perfectly well who the other woman is. She bared her teeth fiercely and tried to lunge at me, but I held her firmly. Did she think my decades of boxing training were for nothing? With a skillful push, I sent her sprawling to the ground with her own momentum. Instantly, her demeanor changed. Tears welled in her eyes, and looking pitiful, she wailed loudly, "Everyone, come and judge our mistresses these days, all so brazen. First she hits my car, and now she's trying to steal my husband in public." The more she spoke, the harder she cried. More people gathered, and soon the crowd was pointing fingers at me and Melody. Oh my. I was just feeling sorry for her, thinking she was being bullied by the luxury car driver. I thought it wasn't easy for ordinary people. Turns out she's the one with ulterior motives. How disgusting as a mother. Isn't she afraid her daughter will follow her bad example and go astray? I pulled Melody close, letting her bury her face in my embrace, my chest heaving with anger. This was a blatant case of the culprit crying foul. I pulled out my phone, displayed our marriage certificate from my photo album, and said sternly, "Everyone, look closely. I am Victoria Redmond, the legal wife of Haoshan Group's general manager, Ronan Lawson. This woman is the third party who interfered in our marriage. Of course, Ronan Lawson is no good either." Someone leaned in for a closer look. "It's true, I've seen this man on the financial news channel. It's Mr. Lawson, the GM. Could it be we got it wrong?" The crowd's gaze turned to Vivian Chase again, now filled with doubt. When Vivian Chase looked at me, a flash of malice crossed her eyes. She also took out her phone, crying pitifully, "Don't be fooled by her. Everyone, pictures can be photoshopped. My husband and I just celebrated our 10th anniversary. I have a video to prove it." In the video, she and Ronan Lawson were on a beach in Hawaii, holding hands, kissing, and feeding each other. The display was so intimate it made everyone present blush. My mind went blank with a buzz. Just a month ago, when my mother Eleanor was critically ill and dying, Ronan Lawson had insisted on going abroad for a big deal despite my objections. I clenched my fists so tightly my nails dug deep into my palms. So Ronan had abandoned me to be with his mistress. The rage of betrayal surged through me. The onlookers instantly switched sides. That's true, pictures can be faked, but videos can't. Her marriage certificate is probably photoshopped. She knew Mr. Lawson was coming here today and deliberately waited to stage an accident. Her intention to be a mistress is as clear as day. Vivian Chase's son, Tony, even picked up stones from the ground and threw them at Melody and me, yelling, "Kill you, you pair of conniving vixens, shameless stinking vixens. How dare you bully my mom, I'll kill you." I quickly picked up Melody and dodged. I accidentally met Vivian Chase's gaze. Her eyes were full of undisguised triumph and provocation. She secretly flipped me the bird. I was so angry I laughed. How interesting. At this moment, I no longer bothered with trying to prove myself. I swiftly put Melody into the car, slammed the door shut. The engine roared to life instantly. I turned the car around and slammed on the gas, heading straight for Vivian Chase and her son. All the onlookers stared wide-eyed. Then came a blood-curdling scream. The car stopped just a hand's breadth away from Vivian Chase and her son. Through the windshield, I saw Vivian's eyes wide with utter terror. She collapsed to the ground, trembling. I gave her a sarcastic smile. Scared already? Then what about the revenge I have planned next? Just then, a Maybach sped over. I glanced at the license plate. Ronan Lawson had arrived. Chapter 3. Ronan Lawson got out of the car and rushed straight to Vivian Chase and Tony. Tony complained to him tearfully, "Daddy, someone tried to run Mom and me over." Vivian Chase, feigning weakness, pouted and playfully hit Ronan Lawson's chest. "It's all your fault. Who knows what kind of hussy you've attracted? She's trying to kill me and our son to get to you." Ronan Lawson tenderly wiped away her tears. "Nonsense. You and Tony are the only ones in my heart. Whoever bullied you, I'll stand up for you. Whatever you want, you'll get through my car window." I coldly watched this devoted couple, then opened my door and said in a low voice, "Ronan Lawson, it was me." Ronan Lawson's angry face suddenly froze, then paled. Vivian Chase stepped forward, took his arm and pointed at me, saying, "It's her, Ronan. You have to stand up for Tony and me." I took a step forward, staring into his eyes. "Ronan Lawson, aren't you going to explain yourself to me?" Ronan Lawson opened his mouth but said nothing. Someone in the crowd jeered, "Mr. Lawson, just now this crazy woman claimed to be your wife and even showed a marriage certificate. You can't let a bitch like her, who corrupts public morals, off easy. She's delusional, trying to latch on to Mr. Lawson. Look how loving Mr. Lawson and his wife are. The first thing he did when he arrived was care for his wife. What's it got to do with her? A home-wrecking mistress deserves to die." "Don't worry. With Mr. Lawson's power and connections, he can easily deal with a nobody. The bitch will pay for what she's done." Amidst the crowd's taunts, Ronan Lawson clenched his jaw, took the family photo pendant Vivian Chase handed him, slammed it to the ground, and ground it under his heel, until the faces in the photo were completely obliterated. Ronan Lawson spoke in a low voice, "Ma'am, are you aware that using someone's image without permission is illegal? I don't know you. Stop spreading false rumors about our relationship here, lest my wife and others misunderstand." He paused, then continued, "As for you bullying my wife today, I will not let it slide. I demand that you apologize to my wife in front of everyone." A cold sneer curved my lips. If a live-in son-in-law was going to defend his mistress to this extent, then of course, I'd let them have their way. However, the general manager position and all the wealth I'd given him would have to be reclaimed. Wrongdoings have consequences. Just as I was about to speak, my daughter Melody rushed out of the car. She immediately saw the shattered family photo at Ronan Lawson's feet. Melody said in disbelief, "Daddy, That's our family picture. It's my favorite one. How could you break it? Tony Chase glared viciously at Melody. Little vixen, who are you calling daddy? Everyone around looked at me and Melody with strange, contemptuous eyes. Like mother, like daughter, both crooked. Mr. Lawson already said he doesn't know them, yet she's still calling him daddy. No shame at all. Melody's eyes reddened, but she said stubbornly, "He is my daddy. Daddy, you promised me." Ronan Lawson looked at his daughter Melody in front of everyone and said coldly, "I don't know you." "Little girl, don't be misled by your mother and call people names randomly." I pulled Melody to me, patting her gently to soothe her. Then I looked around at the crowd and noticed a few women live streaming with their phones. I smiled faintly and raised my voice. "I'd like everyone here to be a witness. This gentleman just said he doesn't know me or my daughter, correct?" The crowd looked bewildered but nodded. Is this woman crazy? Just a moment ago, she was trying to force Mr. Lawson to admit he's her husband. She's probably lost it. I stared at Ronan Lawson. "Well then, Mr. Lawson, you'd better have some backbone and remember every word you're saying now," Ronan Lawson snorted. Vivian Chase looked triumphant and arrogant, basking in the crowds addressing her as Mrs. Lawson. The contemptuous murmurs from the crowd around me grew louder. This woman is truly bizarre. She's not trying to evade Mr. Lawson's accountability by playing crazy, is she? Everyone in Bay City knows how formidable Haushin Group's legal team is. Can she really get away? Come on everyone, follow my camera and look at the face of the most disgusting, delusional mistress in history. Wave after wave of malicious words washed over me. Just then, police sirens wailed. A group of police officers arrived, shouting loudly, "Who reported the crime? We heard someone here stole a supercar worth $50 million. Chapter 4. Unflinching, I stepped forward. It was me, the crowd was still murmuring, assuming Ronan Lawson had called the police to arrest me and vent Vivian Chase's anger. When they suddenly saw it was me who stepped forward, everyone was shocked. What's going on? A mistress has the audacity to call the police? Doesn't she realize how dirty her own actions are? Wait a minute, the police asked who reported their $50 million car stolen. She said it was her? Is she crazy? This is clearly Mrs. Lawson's car. My gaze swept over the crowd, pausing for a moment on Ronan Lawson's face. Then I took out my phone and showed the police officers the original purchase contract from my mother, Eleanor, and the electronic registration proving the car was under my name. After taking my phone and swiping through it a few times, the officer compared it with the car behind Vivian Chase and then nodded at me. "This supercar, license plate ending in 0705, is indeed your private property, Miss Redmond." Vivian Chase lunged forward, her voice cracking. "That's impossible. How can this car be hers?" "My husband gave it to me. It's mine." She immediately tugged at Ronan Lawson, saying frantically, "Ronan, say something." Ronan Lawson shot me a fierce glare, but when he spoke, his voice lacked conviction. "Officer, could there be some mistake?" An onlooker chimed in. "Officer, I've been watching this whole thing. It was Mrs. Lawson who drove this car here. Besides, who is Mr. Lawson? The general manager of Haushin Group. Worth billions, would he care about one car? There must be a mistake." Vivian Chase nodded vehemently, telling the police, "The evidence must be photoshopped by this bitch she even photoshopped a marriage certificate with." My husband earlier, the officer looked at the crowd, puzzled, but still stated factually, "We didn't just look at Miss Redmond's evidence. We've traced it through the property registration center and double confirmed it. This car belongs to Miss Redmond." Vivian Chase looked as if her soul had been sucked out. She stood blankly, muttering, "How is this possible?" Then, she grabbed Ronan Lawson, asking urgently, "Ronan, say something. What on earth is going on?" But Ronan Lawson remained silent. The other onlookers who had been enjoying the show were also stunned. In their minds, I should have been crushed by Ronan Lawson's power, begging for mercy. But now, I was the owner of the luxury car. I spoke up, "Officer, this car was a gift from my mother, Eleanor. It's very precious to me. This Ms. Chase not only stole my car but also damaged the front end due to a traffic violation. Please severely punish the thief." After speaking, I immediately handed the dashcam footage to the police. Once it was played, everyone clearly saw how Vivian Chase had illegally crossed the line and rear-ended my electric car, and how she had brazenly claimed her luxury car was worth $50 million and demanded I sell my house to compensate her. Instantly, the crowd looked at Vivian Chase with disbelief. Some even spat in her direction. We thought she was the owner of a multi-million-dollar car, but she's a thief stealing someone's car, driving recklessly, and then threatening the rightful owner. She's thoroughly despicable. But wait, Mr. Lawson's identity as general manager can't be fake. And Vivian Chase is indeed the wife, he acknowledged. His wife stealing a car? This is too ridiculous for a moment. All eyes focused on Ronan Lawson, but he just stared fixedly at me. My phone buzzed. While everyone was discussing, Ronan Lawson had seized the opportunity to send me 4 or 5 messages. Victoria, stop this nonsense. I had my reasons for doing this today. I felt sorry for Tony. He lost his father young and just wanted to go hiking with a father figure on Children's Day. I was just trying to be kind and fulfill a child's need for fatherly love. As for Vivian driving your car, I lent it to her. Maybe I didn't explain clearly, and she misunderstood, thinking I'd given it to her. After all, she and I grew up together. I've always seen her as a sister. As my wife, you should be more understanding, and don't be so petty. A woman should be generous. Hurry up and tell the police that this whole car theft thing is a misunderstanding. I'm texting you, can't you see? Do you have to defy me? Victoria, I am your husband, you have to listen to me. I turned off my phone screen. Just as expected, the scumbag still showed no remorse. I said loudly, the fact now is that Mr. Lawson's wife stole my car. Officer, my car is worth $50 million. How long will Mr. Lawson's wife have to be in jail for that? The officer paused. Further investigation is needed, but generally theft of $50 million or more can result in a sentence of over 10 years. Hearing about a prison sentence, Vivian Chase immediately panicked. Seeing Ronan Lawson still silent, she desperately told the police, Officer, I didn't steal this car. Ronan Lawson gave it to me. If anyone stole it, he did. I'm innocent. Chapter 5. Trembling, Vivian Chase took out her phone and showed her chat history to the police. After reading it, the officer turned to Ronan Lawson. Sir, is what this lady says true? Please answer truthfully. Ronan Lawson's face was tense. Seeing my resolute attitude, ignoring his pleas and explanations, he had no choice but to tell the police. Officer, actually, the owner of this supercar, Victoria Redmond, is my legal wife. This whole thing today is a misunderstanding. I just lent the car to a friend to drive and didn't get a chance to inform my wife. It led to a misunderstanding. Sorry for the trouble. His words caused an uproar among everyone present. These people had been watching the drama from start to finish, and some had even been live streaming the entire event. Hold on, 20 minutes ago Mr. Lawson said he didn't know this lady and that Vivian Chase was his wife. Their affectionate display made me blush. Yeah, Mr. Lawson just insisted he didn't know this lady. A busybody even pulled up the earlier recording and showed it to the police. The officer frowned. Mr. Lawson, what exactly is going on here? Under everyone's gaze, Ronan Lawson walked over to me, his face alternating between pale and red. Victoria, hurry up and explain for me, I smiled, feigning confusion. Explain what? Explain that you're my wife. I pointed at Vivian Chase. You say I'm your wife, then who is she? You were just hugging and being very intimate with her in front of everyone. Some onlookers snickered, while others were even more confused. But Mr. Lawson said he didn't know her, and now he's chasing after her, saying she's his wife? And that car thief, what's her deal with Mr. Lawson? The police officer once again questioned Ronan Lawson sternly. Sir, please tell the truth. Otherwise you will also face suspicion of car theft. Veins throbbed on Ronan Lawson's forehead. Forced by the stares of the crowd, he had no choice but to say, Vivian Chase is a childhood neighbor. Her son lost his father young and took me as his godfather. In reality, Victoria Redmond and I are a family. Victoria's car was lent to Vivian by me. I didn't explain it clearly before, which caused Vivian to misunderstand. With every sentence, his expression grew uglier. Each word was like him slapping his own face. These words shattered everyone's understanding of the situation. What? The person he just claimed not to know is actually his legal wife? And the woman he called his wife is just a friend? Some friend this man cheated. Not only did he use his wife's money to support his mistress, but he also publicly slandered his wife. He is inhuman. My God, even TV dramas wouldn't dare to film something like this. This man was so serious when he denied his wife and daughter. I really couldn't tell he was so thick-skinned. I looked at Ronan Lawson mockingly. Ronan Lawson, do you remember what I said earlier? His face was already beet red. He looked at me stunned for a moment, then gritted his teeth and said, Victoria Redmond, I've already admitted it in public. What more do you want? Don't go too far, I sneered and turned to the police. Officer, it's true that he and I are married. However, this car is my premarital private property. He and Vivian Chase took it without my consent and caused damage to the vehicle. Can I still hold them legally responsible? The officer nodded. Of course. Hearing she would still be held accountable, Vivian Chase's face filled with panic. She approached the officer. Officer, Ronan Lawson just said he gave me the car. I had no idea about the ownership. The theft has nothing to do with me, the officer replied. Ma'am, you still need to come with us to cooperate with further investigation. The crowd of onlookers grew larger. People at the front pointed at Vivian Chase and explained to those behind, that's the woman she drove recklessly, hit someone, and demanded exorbitant compensation. Turns out the car she was driving belonged to the victim, and now the victim is accusing her of theft. This Chase woman is a real piece of work, stealing someone's husband and then slandering the legal wife. The buzz of discussion almost drowned her and Ronan Lawson. Seeing that the truth had come to light, the police immediately took Ronan Lawson and Vivian Chase to the station for further investigation. I glanced at my phone. As expected, the incident was already blowing up online. The top trending topic, Haitian Group GM Keats and wife. Chapter 6. On the way back to the city, Ronan Lawson repeatedly sent me messages. First, he ordered me, as if it were his right, drop the case with the police immediately. Victoria Redmond, I'm your husband. How can using your car be considered stealing? At most, it was a bit inconsiderate not to tell you. When I didn't reply, he threatened me. Victoria Redmond, I am still the general manager of Haitian Group. If a scandal like this about me gets out, it will affect the group's stock price. This company is your mother Eleanor's life's work. I directly blocked him and sneered. But you won't be Haitian's general manager for much longer. After taking Melody home, I immediately contacted my executive assistant, David Carter, and requested an urgent press conference for Haitian Group. The detrimental impact this scumbag Ronan Lawson had on the group had to be eliminated immediately. Soon, media from all outlets gathered. I stood at the center of the press conference, holding a microphone. I'm sure everyone has seen today's top trending topic, the Haitian Group General Manager's affair. I am Victoria Redmond, the chairman of Haitian Group, and also the wife of Haitian Group's general manager, Ronan Lawson. Regarding this man of deplorable character, the board of directors has unanimously decided to terminate Ronan Lawson from his position as general manager of Haitian Group. From this moment on, Ronan Lawson has no further affiliation with Haitian Group. Please also trust that our company's standards for selecting and employing personnel will never allow a shameless individual to remain within our ranks. Camera flashes went off continuously. A reporter asked a question, Ms. Redmond, after this incident, will you divorce Ronan Lawson? I stated decisively, of course. My lawyer is already drafting the divorce papers. And please, feel free to congratulate me in advance on regaining my single status. The doors of the press conference hall burst open. Ronan Lawson, disheveled and furious, stormed in. He roared, Victoria Redmond, on what grounds are you firing me as general manager? Instantly, the reporters turned their cameras on him, snapping away, chattering and discussing amongst themselves. So that's the scumbag getting fired, serves him right. Have you heard? This guy married into her family, a live-in son-in-law, daring to cheat behind the Redmond family's back. He's simply courting death." Evidently, Ronan Lawson heard them too. He bellowed, "What nonsense are you spouting? I'll sue you standing at the center." I couldn't help but sneer, my voice carrying through the microphone to the entire hall. "Ronan Lawson, are they wrong? You are a son-in-law who married into the Redmond family. You had the guts to take Redmond money to cheat and support your mistress, committing countless acts of ingratitude. How come you don't have the guts to admit it? Ocean Group was founded by my grandfather and flourished under my mother, Eleanor. You became general manager solely because you married into the Redmond family. You have betrayed the Redmonds. What face do you have left to live off my family?" Under my relentless questioning and accusations, Ronan Lawson's face grew increasingly dark and grim, as if water could drip from it. The contemptuous stares of the crowd felt tangible, like mountains pressing down on him, making it hard for him to breathe. Ronan Lawson retorted angrily, "No matter what, we're not divorced, yet I am your husband." Just then, someone from legal, Mr. Carter I assumed, rushed in and handed me a document. I glanced at it and then slammed it onto Ronan Lawson's head. I replied icily, "Not anymore on that document." The words divorce agreement were clearly written in large letters. Ronan Lawson crumpled the divorce agreement, stared at me for a long moment, then gritted his teeth and said, "Do you think I've been general manager for all these years for nothing? The group losing me is your loss. I will absolutely make a comeback and get my revenge." I looked at him mockingly. "Since that's the case, please leave Haoshin's premises immediately. You're not welcome here. Furthermore, I'm informing you that whether it's you spending marital assets on your mistress or your mistress stealing and damaging my supercar, I will pursue it to the fullest extent of the law." The press conference hadn't even ended when the top trending topic online changed to "Cheating Husband Ronan Lawson Fired a Shouting Group GM Chapter 7. After that day, Ronan Lawson, full of himself, thought he had found some investors, but he didn't even get to meet them and was directly thrown out by security. The security guards at the door looked at him with contempt. "Pa, a cheating scumbag known all over the internet wants to attract investment? It'd be a miracle if any investor trusted you. Get lost. Stop being an eyesore here with your ungrateful freeloader attitude. I feel like beating you up myself, Ronan." Lawson tugged at his crumpled suit, his eyes bloodshot, and roared, "You gatekeepers looking down on people. I am a general manager. What are you? A mere doorman. You definitely didn't tell your boss properly that I was here. I have real abilities. It's your loss not to cooperate with me. Just wait for your boss to chew you out." The two security guards at the door exchanged a glance and chuckled. A good-for-nothing who was kicked out still dares to bark like that. How about we two brothers do a public service and get rid of this pest? "Soon," screams echoed from the alley behind the building. Ronan Lawson still didn't give up. He went around calling himself a general manager every day, but no respectable person would deal with him. The only ones who continued to flock to him and flatter him were con artists. Under the swindler's flattery, Ronan Lawson became conceited again. During this time, he ran into me and said smugly, "Victoria Redmond, I've started a new company. It's going public soon. When that happens, I'll steal all of Haoshin's business." I couldn't help but smile. Apart from Ronan Lawson, who was lost in his daydreams and deceiving himself, everyone in the business circle knew how those two con artists, posing as investors, had swindled people into bankruptcy. A week later, Ronan Lawson woke up to find his bank account not only empty but also that he owed the bank $50 million. The house his parents had left him was seized to cover his debts. He was utterly homeless. Just then, the case I had filed against Ronan Lawson and Vivian Chase went to court as scheduled. When I saw Ronan Lawson again, he was shockingly thin. His eyes lit up when he saw me. "Victoria, I was wrong. I suddenly realized you're the only one I truly love. I can't live without you." He tried to approach me but was stopped by my bodyguards. He desperately wanted to express, "Victoria, I know I was wrong. I've already made things clear with Vivian Chase. Let's get back. Together for Melody, let's give her a complete family." I glanced at him sideways and said coldly, "Ronan Lawson, you overestimate yourself. This isn't a recycling center for trash." Vivian Chase, who arrived from another direction, looked completely dazed. During this period, wherever she went, people chased her and cursed her. She was so traumatized that the slightest disturbance would make her scream. The moment she saw Ronan Lawson, she lunged at him like a madwoman, her hands outstretched to scratch him. "It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been doxxed and shamed online, and I wouldn't be facing a lawsuit." Ronan Lawson was furious and didn't hesitate to fight back. "You have the nerve to blame me? If you hadn't actively climbed into my bed and seduced me, I'd still be the general manager of Haushin. I wouldn't have ended up like this." The two of them slapped each other and pulled hair until the bailiff separated them. Because the evidence was conclusive, the verdict was delivered in court. Every penny Ronan Lawson had spent on Vivian Chase was to be recovered, and Vivian Chase had to compensate me for the damage to my supercar. As a result, Vivian Chase not only lost everything but also became a blacklisted debt dodger due to insolvency. On the day the case concluded, Ronan Lawson, unable to contain his anger, found Vivian Chase again. They argued once more. Vivian, already mentally unstable, grabbed a kitchen knife and charged at him. Ronan Lawson, his eyes bloodshot with rage, picked up a golf club and swung it at Vivian Chase's head. When they were found, neither was breathing. Vivian Chase's son, Tony Chase, was sent to a welfare home. I appointed a new general manager, a person of both integrity and competence. I also promised Melody I would take her on an overseas trip during the summer vacation to make up for that terrible Children's Day. The end.